What's going on, guys? Today for the Bitcoin price and the crypto prices, we have some exciting presentations for you all. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I'm King Wabi, and welcome all to our brand new show, Market Rants with King Wabi. Every week, once or twice a week, myself and other content creators, traders of the like, when it comes to the crypto space, are going to be joining me here on the Because YouTube channel. So I hope you guys are doing all right. And guys, we have some exciting charts to show you. So as you can see right here, we have the monthly chart for Bitcoin testing over 60K, and I'm here joined by TraderSZ. We're going to be streaming for you guys for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So go ahead and smash that like button, guys. Smash that like button. I want to see at least 50 to 100 likes. So hope you guys are doing all right. SC, what's going on, brother? It's been a couple of months since we've spoken, man. Hope you're doing well. What's going on, brother? What are you seeing in the markets?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? Thanks for having me on. Well, up only, it looks like.
Yeah, man. Dude, it seems that Larry Fink keeps on smashing that green button like the Easter Bunny is hunting for treats, man. Every single day, he just keeps on smashing that buy button. And, you know, truth be told, I'm kind of wondering, SC, right? How does this cycle differ from other cycles, right? In 2016, we had that beautiful run up. We sort of bled after the halving. And in 2020, you know, we had the COVID crash. It's a bit different, right? It was kind of like an anomaly, and people were saying, oh, maybe there's like a black swan with the macro and all that stuff. And, you know, now that the ETF is live, the flows aren't going to be strong. And then 2 weeks into the ETF lows, we've seen over the last couple of weeks, Larry Fink has, you know, accounted for billions in daily volume, you know, and it's like, what happens when we break through 69K, right? First time ever, we see BTC this close to a new all-time high. And I'll be honest with you, man, when we see altcoins like Solana being over $100, when we see newer altcoins, right, like TIA and SZA go to new all-time highs, pulling off 1,000% gains in a couple of weeks, you know, it's not as frothy in the retail side as it was in 2021. If you guys remember, we had Bored Apes, we had Jimmy Fallon changing his PFP and other celebrities to these NFT collections. Logan Paul was launching his NFT collections. And quite truthfully, it seems that this bull market that we're experiencing is a bit more muted. You know what I'm saying, man? How have you seen all this play out personally, brother?
I think the market's just more maturing a lot more, and you know, more money's coming in. It's more recognized. I think it's going a lot higher. Obviously, we're at this key area here, but just to show like a basic example of what I mean. I mean, if we think about it like this, I think it'd be interesting to see what happens if when we do blow this up. But there's a little pullback on that first. I got a feeling I don't think we'll pull back much. I think it's a month end today, so maybe a bit of fuckeries, but I think we're gonna blow through this personally. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. It's hard to say. So when you're in new territory, I think 100K plus easy, especially if all this ETF stuff going on. So if I treat this the same way as this, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. Is it gonna blow up, pull back, and then continue, or is it gonna be a straight blow off like this? That'd be interesting to tell. I mean, I don't like making it up which ones it's gonna do, but I think long term, I think we're probably definitely on for 100K plus. Yeah, and I just take it as it goes.
Yeah, man. I'm also if you can pull up the Ethereum chart, I'm looking at ETH, and it seems that it's sort of filling that area where we were trading at in March of 2022, right? It seems that ETH is now catching up to BTC, and you know, we've got the eminent approval of that ETF coming in. I think it's in May, I believe, and I'm wondering, you know, if those flows are just as strong as BTC or even like 25%, right? I think the average daily inflow from the BTC ETFs accumulatively on a week-to-week basis has been like, you know, $3, $4, $5 billion of net inflows, right? And the volume has been in the decabillions, right? I believe, no, from Monday up until now, we've traded close to 10 billion total volume, right? Yesterday we traded close to 4 billion in volume. The day before that, it was about 3.3 roughly. And the BTC ETF is barely a month old, right? So what happens when that institutional crowd goes on over to the Ethereum side, right? And I mean, as well as I do, right? When it comes to the ETH ecosystem, anytime Ethereum pumps, you have things like, Chainlink, you have things like Optimism and Arbitrum. Really, the broader crypto space benefits as a whole when you see Ethereum, outperforming to the upside on the top 10 majors, man.
I
So
think
wondering,
I'm keeping a close eye on FBTC for that personally. I mean, obviously, I think the BTC still goes up, but it's just when I look at this, it's just for which one overpowers the other, whether it's short term or long term. But I think ideally, I was looking for a bit lower on FBTC around here. I don't think we'll get that, but I'm open to it. However, I'm just going to keep it simple. I think once we can sort of like break this trend line kind of area, if this gets above, and the way Eth is looking, Eth looks like it's got a lot more upside. I think
yeah,
Eth got the price. I think Eth really starts to take off. I think once we get something like this, maybe BTC cool off, or BTC isn't as aggressive as it is now, and I think I think it's got a big potential. I think once we got FBTC starting to trend up a bit, I think Eth starts rallying for 4K plus, 4,500 plus. But we'll see. Still consolidating here, but I think once we can break this, I'm just gonna keep it basic. TA, we've been in this basic range. Once this starts to happen, I think, and then I think we push forward and Eth starts taking, and it's doing the same thing, really, isn't it? We start pushing towards here and here, just the levels that we've got, obvious to work with, really. So I think we're above here now. So I think, this should be taken soon, in my opinion. Whether it pulls back or not, but bigger picture, I think we should start taking out these highs here.
man, I'm excited for that, brother. I'm basically almost fully deployed here. And I do want to touch on Solana as well. If you look at the Solana ETH pair, it seems that last year that was the main focus of the markets for direction towards, further risk on, right? We saw in Q4 when Solana started to rally, the broader market, right, with these newer names started to rally, but Ethereum, man, was just getting clobbered left and right, left and right, left and right. And I do think Sol ETH, man, is probably
Soul ETH. Yeah,
yes.
but another thing I want to mention is if you look at the yearly chart as well for Ethereum, that just looks like it's warming up. It's not even halfway through the year yet.
Yeah, send it to 10K, baby.
Sometimes when I go to the lower time frame, lower time frame for me is just more trading, not investing, trading.
Yeah.
That spot. But looking at this chart, I mean, this would easily be taken. And if I look at it similarly to Bitcoin as well, looking at the yearly, I mean, I find it hard to believe we won't take that out. Maybe, obviously, it's a yearly chart. You're going to get some sort of pullbacks along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sol ETH, yes, I think I posted this a while back and I got shit for it. But yeah, I mean, if we're going to look at this chart, I mean, it does look kind of bottom to me. Sol ETH, just keeping it basic levels, and I think, well, just keep a basic pivot around here. So as long as this can hold, I think Sol is ready, possibly for the next leg up towards there. So if we go to Sol chart, I mean, obviously there's boundaries it's got to cross. So if I go to Sol, should have got these charts ready earlier on. Sol does look ready, doesn't it? Yeah, I think 144s. I've got 144 next as my next short-term target. That's more for trading wise. But again, let's just do the same thing again. I'm looking at yearly. We should start. I mean, we just about broken last year's high. So if I was to mark this out, any levels there? Nope. So I like to use the yearly highs and mid ranges and lows as my key pivots. And once we start making it established cleanly above, I really think Sol's got a good chance of 179s after that. I'm just marking out whatever level there is. But if I go to the lower time frame, we're just poking above it now. So we had the first test, second test, and remember this is a yearly level. So and if I mark this out like this, just keeping it basic. It's a basic. I mean, if I want to look at it from a trader's point of view, just to simplify, because everybody likes to look at TA, I mean, it's a basic support. There's a bit of an inflection point there. Now, this time around, is that the breakout? Once it can establish itself, acceptance above last year's high, there's no issue. 179's next. So
Man,
I think
and it's
the
a
next.
$500, baby. This is basically Ethereum at a couple at around 130, $140.
Where do you think it's going long term? I mean, obviously with crypto, you never know how far
Yeah,
things can go. But where do
yeah.
you think personally it's going to peak at before a decent correction?
Yeah, so short term, I think Solana, quite honestly, especially going into the ETH ETF, I do think things like Solana are gonna outperform once it really gets going, right? And I
Right.
think before the halving, I think Solana could test $200. And I think going into the summertime, I do think Solana is probably going to be one of the first majors to break an all-time high, right? And quite honestly, man, like if we look at some of the data, right, like new wallet downloads and all that stuff, Phantom Wallet was one of the top downloaded apps for crypto, and Phantom is specifically for Solana. I know they have, things for ETH, Matic, and stuff like that, but for the most part, Phantom is mainly for Solana users. And when we look at things like, total volume traded on dexes, Solana dexes were actually beating Ethereum back to back in Q4. And I do think that trend is likely to continue, right? And I think Solana by the end of the cycle could potentially be within, 15 to 20% of ETH's market cap this cycle.
I'm no expert when it comes
Yeah,
to the FA side, but I
yeah,
do find using the Soul stuff so much easier, faster, quicker. Like
yeah.
fees, and it's just so quick. It's just the gas fees on Eth, and I'm trading
It's
on Dex.
crazy, dude. Like, I think yesterday someone is like, "Oh man, it feels so good to use Ethereum again. I only have to pay $100." And it's like, dude, in DeFi summer of 2020, everyone was complaining that gas fees were like $25, $35, right? And I think the good thing with Solana, not to make this too shilly here, but it is what it is, right? Not to make it too shilly, Solana, after the FTS collapse and all that stuff, I considered Solana a brand new token, right? I
Right.
considered it a clean chart. It's a new token that launched at $8 to $9, and it's going to be a brand new ecosystem because you didn't have a guy who dressed like shit and slept on a beanbag selling customer funds to prop up his DeFi Ponzi's, right? So I do think Solana should be considered a new token, quite honestly, and a trend that I'm seeing on Sol, right? As a layer one, I do see things from the AI sector being quite big on Sol, right? You have things like Nosana, you have things like Ionet coming out. And I know yourself, SC, you've been paying attention to the AI space with PAL, right? And man, that was a great call, brother. How
It's a good one. The shit I got for that, but yeah, that was a good one. Basically, I mean, I go to guys like you for FA. I'm not
yeah,
gonna pretend I don't know. I mean, I just DMing you, not so bro. What's the next coin? FA wise, and then I just do my little lines and squiggles, and I just ape in. But more or less, I just go to guys that are good at FA. I'm not gonna pretend I'm good at FA,
yeah,
but give me the heads up, yo. This is a good FA, okay? Just
yeah.
gives you conviction. People that got good track records of solid FA calls. And then your T was it Tia? I think I made a killing
Yeah,
on that one.
Celestia,
I had
baby,
no idea what the fuck it
Celestia,
was.
man. That was
I just jumped in that one.
oh
Uh,
man, dude,
yeah, but
that
then it
was a
worked out
cool
really
trade.
nice. So
Yeah,
yeah, what's
man.
the next coin, man? What's the next coin we're going for?
Man, I, yeah, so for the next one, man, I think Dime does have potential, right? The ticker is DYM.
Yeah, I was looking at
Um,
that. Didn't that get
yeah, yeah,
sold
yeah,
up? What's the reason for that? I mean, everything else is going up, and this is
yeah. It hasn't been doing good. It has not been doing good at all, man.
is there a reason
Um,
behind that?
yeah, so with that token specifically, VCs are able to sell their staking yield, and there's one specific VC called Stratos that has been selling their yield relentlessly. So I do think it's probably going to be like a Neutron, right? When it first launched, that ticker is NTRN. And when NTRN first launched, it had, a little pump, and then it went into this long consolidation phase. And I do think with something like Dime, right? Like as long as it maintains its listing price, which I believe is like, at 430, 440, I do think when that thing starts going, it's probably going to be like the biggest hindsight trade ever, right?
Well, to be honest with you, I hope there's a big, massive FUD campaign so I can start buying up here. I really want two, three
Dude, that
dollars.
would be insane, brother.
Maybe I'm hoping for too much, but I'm
Man, that
hoping for some
yeah.
dirty, some flipping exploit to happen or whatever. And I'd love to buy it down here, but obviously I'm hoping for too much. I don't really, I mean, because it's a new coin, either I'm just gonna blindly buy spot. I've got a bit of spot of dime, but I'm hoping if it can somehow by some miracle come here, but I don't think it will.
Yeah,
Not much
I
will.
think Dime is also relying on Tia for guidance, right? Because it's like a brand new ecosystem, new narrative, and all that stuff. And with Tia, right, if we chart it against Bitcoin SC, it's kind of been going through like it's going through a time capitulation phase on its USDT pair, and it's going through an actual first major correction on its Bitcoin pair.
I think it's mainly, well, obviously I think with Bitcoin they're so strong. I think all alt BTC pairs are going down, to be honest with you. I don't think it's T on its own.
Hmm.
Obviously the USDT pairs will hold up or go up, but with the strength Bitcoin has, it's just overpowered everything else. All alt BTC pairs have really weakened. So ideally, I mean, when I'm positioning, I like both the BTC pair and
Yeah,
the USDT pair to line up together.
yeah,
I think once we probably need Bitcoin to cool off a bit.
yeah.
But the USDT pair is still okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
it's not much
that
you
is
can
an
do
infinite bid,
like that.
baby.
I
That
remember
is
when you told that.
beautiful.
I mean, I think I blindly aped in when you first told me. I
Yeah,
didn't know
man.
what the fuck it was. I'm there thinking, yeah, my TA line saying a bit lower.
Yeah,
That's what I did with Dime. Is blindly aped in a bit.
yeah, man.
That, that was a call.
I
That was
think
a call.
I think short term, I think the modularity narrative is kind of taking a step back a bit with Ethereum pumping. And usually with when Ethereum starts to pump and it starts to, outperform things in the top 10, you usually have things that are really similar to ETH, right? Like other L1s. And I think things like a Say and a Sui and maybe even Aptos, which has caught in quite a pump over the last couple of days. I think it's a season for that. And once those start to catch attention of the broader market and CT is, sharing all these charts and all that stuff, I think that's when you have the laggards catch up, right? And we saw that in Q4 of last year when, things like Chainlink finally broke out, right? After just going through hell, right? Link was doing
That was
nothing
for
for
ages.
months.
Everyone called it a stable coin, didn't it?
Yeah, man. It's like there was a meme, right? You know the guy that says he has a briefcase and he's like, you give me this and you receive that, right? And he gives the guy $20, and in return, the guy gives the recipient a briefcase with $5 because it was just a stable coin at $5.
It was.
Yeah. So, guys, we're about halfway throughout the stream. We have close to 300 people viewing. If you can smash that like button, I'm going to be relentless with you guys. Smash that like button as hard as Larry Finkelstein and his men in suits smash the buy button. So for every like that we get, guys, the price goes up. Do you want the Bitcoin price to go to 100K before the halving, guys? Do you want to see face melting all season? Go ahead and smash that like button, guys. I'm your host, King Wabi. The show is brought to you by Because Bitcoin. This is our first edition of Market Rants. I'm here joined by TraderSZ. We're talking all things dubious speculation, price action, and just chilling, right? It's Eth Denver week. And, I'll tell you guys, when I went to Eth Denver, it was quite muted, man. It was really like an anime convention. You know, those conventions that have, people wearing like furry hats and all that stuff. They have these hats with strings, and when you pull them, the ears go up one at a time. It was like that, man. It's really, truly, it was kind of freaky. I'm not gonna lie, dude. And when I shook my hand to some of these devs, ooh, man, you would be quite bearish to go to conventions. So sometimes it's not really good to meet your heroes when it comes to devs and all that stuff. So ultimately, it's not really devs and all that stuff that make you bullish on projects. It's price. Everything is a psyop. Price is the ultimate arbiter of truth. SC, do you agree with me? It does not matter what the tech does. The tech is price, in my opinion, brother.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But so we do have one comment, right? I want to get to the comments here a little bit. So all right, so there's one person called Karen Westgate. BTC dominance will fro, then we fly. I'm assuming Karen means, maybe we can look at BTC dominance, see how that's doing. I'm assuming she thinks that like BTC dominance probably has one more push. And then, the broader altcoin market starts to kind of chat a bit. I think we're actually seeing BTC pull back from the highs that we did yesterday. And yesterday, guys, We hit 64.3, which is the exact top of the Coinbase IPO of April 2021, right? So we rejected off of there to 58. There was a little bit of a liquidation cascade, and then we popped up to close to 63 during Asia session, and we're sitting now at like 61ish, shortly below 61K, right around there.
You're gonna get pullbacks, and I mean, when it's relentless one go, especially month end. I mean, if you trade
Yeah,
long enough, month end usually some profit taking, easing off, creating a wick for the candle. So it's a good thing if you want pullbacks. So that's a normal thing. I don't know why a lot of people are panicking. You gotta be realistic. It's relative, isn't it? One way up, pause, another leg up. I mean, especially this way, one way. So I think if he pulls back a bit and then just consolidates, that's good for alts. And then when it's ready, it'll be a fast blast off. So I think pullbacks are good. I don't think it's the definitely. I'd be surprised. I mean, even if it is a top short term, I mean, I say top, I don't mean all the way back down. I think with the way the yearly chart shaping up, it'll take a lot to convince me it's gonna go a lot lower. But this is normal. This is month end price action.
yeah.
Look at any chart month end, especially when it's been one way. This is normal. Pullback, price, profit taking, whatever the reason is. Yeah, I think it's just normal stuff.
So SC, there is a question from the audience. Can you ask SC if the FTX situation affected Bitcoin all-time high potential? So I'm assuming he means SC, right? When we look at last cycle, right, the way we had that double peak was kind of strange, right? Especially volume-wise. Volume kind of dropped off after Q1, and the rest of it was just the same money sloshing around, right? Which is why we made, kind of just a poke above the April 2021 highs, right? In November of 2021. And, as people know, FTX was selling customer funds, specifically BTC, to prop up, their Ponzi's and all that stuff. And, it felt like the cycle was sort of robbed from us, right? And if we compare that to the 2017
I
cycle,
disagree with that. I think the market would have gone down regardless. There would have been some other reason. Maybe the FTX thing got it there quicker, but I think it's just a natural cycle of the market. If you look at it, it's just a normal SR retest of previous all-time high, go back up. So I don't think the FTX thing was the reason behind it, or we were robbed. I think that it would have happened regardless, and that probably just got it there quicker. That's my opinion on it.
yeah, sometimes, man, the cycles play out because cycles are cycles, man. So, man, SC, brother, it's great to have you on the show. Guys, go ahead and smash that like button. It's what a day, man, honestly. So, man, SC, what sectors in the market are you currently looking at right now? Like, we're about a few weeks away from the halving, right? And typically after the halving, we see all these new narratives prop up. But for yourself, I know the last cycle, you and XO were pretty big within the pair chain stuff, right? Like Kusama, Polkadot, things like that. So what sector are you what sector have you guys been looking
Honestly, I just copy people that know what they're doing with FA. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
at?
ain't
Hey,
got
man,
no
honesty is the best policy, baby.
that sector is. I ain't got a clue. All I know is okay. I've got a handful of alts from you, got a
Mm.
handful of alts from other guys, and whatever the chart is lining up with, I'll go with that. That's just my honest answer. So I've got I think gaming's big. I've got a few different gaming bags,
Yeah,
but an AI bags, and then I
yeah,
just look at which chart looks nice,
yeah,
easy to trade, and that's it. I'm not expert at that stuff,
yeah.
so I'm not gonna lie.
I do have one thing to share with you, right? And I think it'll be quite juicy for the audience and also the inner Because Bitcoin community. So we here at Because Bitcoin, we've been looking at Campai Pandas, right? We've been looking at them for a couple of months, and recently they've acquired Rainy Studios. The ticker is RST, right? And when it comes to the gaming sector, right, the only thing that the market has shown us right now, as far as like gaming studios and them incubating other niche games within that, has been Beam, right? And when we look at RST, right, the market cap is sub 100 mil, right? And if you're bullish on Campai Pandas, which I am, right, and for what people like Icebags are doing, giving real world utility to these NFTs, right? Where the NFT holders are eligible to go to private events like parties, crypto events, fighting events, all that stuff, airdrops too, right? The only thing we can look at as a comparison is Pudgy Penguins, and recently they flipped Bored Apes. And me personally, I do believe that Pudgy Penguins is likely going to a triple-digit ETH floor, just like Bored Apes did last cycle, right? So if Can't Buy Pandas is trading at right around a 3 ETH floor, right, I do think there's going to be a close within that gap where they trade within 50% of one another. And if you're an individual that isn't really into trading NFTs, this cycle is actually presenting an opportunity where there's sort of like a tokenized version of it for beta, right? So just full disclosure, guys, some of us do hold RST. This isn't financial advice. Some of us are in for a lot lower. If you're looking to get into RST and SE, like you can clearly map out some levels. I do think, you know, if you're going to get into RST, you probably want to have more of a longer term outlook, right? Maybe 18 months to 24 months. And I do think this is probably an asset that could track the performance of a Can't Buy Pandas, right? So usually with things like narratives, right? Before the broader market narratives kicks off with like gaming and all that stuff, you usually have some form of signal, right? You have RST, which has done quite well over the last couple of weeks. Beam has been doing monster numbers over the last couple of months. So it's only a matter of time, right, when the market is going to catch up to things like gaming. And SC, I'll ask you this, man. Do you think things like gaming are more attractive to retail participants more so than things like DeFi with, you know, complex yield and borrowing and lending, and all that other stuff, man? What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest with you, even I don't know what all this complicated shit is, to be honest.
Yeah,
So, but RST I like, and the Kampai Pandas, because I mean, Icebags has done so much. I mean, if you look at him, he's got all the UFC fighters in, and he's making shit happen. So I've always been a fan of Icebags. I think I got Kampai Pandas when it first came out. I've got a few. I was lucky enough to get some honoraries, but I also bought a few. And RST, I've been in since low around
good
here.
stuff, bro.
Just when I mean, it was cheap, it was worth a punt. And it's done quite well. So yeah, I think gaming is going to be big, especially these the potential to earn as well, play to earn and stuff like that. I think we've seen potential with. I think what was the first one? Was it Axes? Was that the first
Yeah,
one?
man.
I think
Axie,
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. And Axie started to pump when BTC was actually in that little bear market from late May, mid-May of 2021 all the way until mid-July, where we bottomed out at like 27, 28K, if you remember that. And you even had things like Alice Pump, Sandbox Pump. And usually what I notice, SC, is during the last quarter or so of a bull market cycle, that last portion typically kicks off more broadly in the next market cycle, right? So if things like gaming, NFTs, and all that sort of stuff kicked off during the last 20-25%, it's probably going to take a much larger narrative for this cycle. And we have things like Rainy, Beam, NFTs are kicking off. You even have things like Prime Parallel. Have you heard of that, SC? The ticker is Prime. They've been doing some
Yeah,
pretty
I've seen a few
yeah.
people post about it. Prime, it is Prime. What's it called? Prime USD.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never traded it myself. Prime
yeah,
USD.
yeah, yeah.
Bloody hell.
It's
Okay.
yeah, baby.
Oh,
Yeah, man. I got that thing at like $3, man, in like late Q3, early Q4, and
wow.
it has just been an absolute monster, man. And I
I
do
didn't even
think,
know about this one.
yeah,
This one I didn't even know about. Yeah.
yeah. And I do see them doing a lot of good stuff within the community. They've recently partnered up with a new project that I'm bullish on. They don't have a token yet, right? But the project is called Saga.
You
And
mentioned that before. I remember you were
yeah,
talking about that. It's not released.
yeah. That's actually one of my top picks for this cycle. Saga, they're a modular blockchain focusing on gaming, and they're basically incubating like gaming projects and even gaming studios all within one branch, and they're going to do a lot of interoperable stuff and all that. So Prime is built on Ethereum, so usually with some of these games, right, you pay like a ton in gas fees, and there's a lot of microtransactions. And I feel that with things like Saga partnering up with Prime, I do think like there's a narrative to be done with things like account abstraction, which I think is going to be absolutely huge, right? Minimizing the friction of how people can interact with all these things, right? Because man, how many wallets do you have, SC, right? We all have a Sol wallet, an ETH wallet, multiple wallets within that ecosystem. When I think that like at some point, I think everything is going to be wrapped into one interface, and that's what people enjoy, right?
That'd be easier, more convenient.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, we are at the 30-minute mark, and SC, I know you do have to go. So I want to thank you, brother, for joining me. Shout out to the audience, guys. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below if you enjoyed this stream. I'm King Wabi, and I am presenting you.
Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure, man. And you've been enjoying Market Rants with King Wabi, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, go ahead and give that like button and hit that subscribe button. I'll be going live with traders, other content creators on a weekly basis, probably once, maybe twice a week. So if you guys have been enjoying the show, thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm the luckiest man on earth to be doing this. Christ is Lord. Without him, I am nothing. Take care, everyone. God bless you. I've been sort of, repeating myself and like stumbling on my words and all that stuff. I haven't done YouTube in quite a while, but yeah, if you guys are coming from Twitter or Discord, thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure streaming with you all. Thank you all so much, man. Shout out to our team, Tucker, Max, Tommy, Will, Jackus. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and have lunch with the guys, and then we're going to go smash Eth Denver, shake some hands, make some memes, and yeah, we'll see you all on our next show. Take care. Bye-bye. God bless you all. Peace.